God gave us two books in one sense. We have the book of nature and the book of the Bible. And because both come from the same source, when there is an apparent contradiction, I think that can usually be resolved. Very, very good example of that would be right now. There's a lot of debate and discussion, particularly for Christians, but for others too, around okay, how quite do we read the book of Genesis, which uses this sort of 6-day framework to explain how God created everything that exists. And we would debate that, perhaps discuss that among different sort of worldviews. But what we don't discuss is the idea that the earth goes around the sun, not the other way around. But there's a couple of verses in some of the sort of more sort of prophetic and poetic books in the Bible that for years Christians took in the Middle Ages to assume that the Bible was teaching that the earth didn't move. And we all know that many of us know the story of Galileo and the controversy there. Now no one has a problem with that because Christians came to realize actually we're just reading our Bibles in a really wooden way. That's poetic language. There's a perfectly easy way those can be reconciled. So in most cases, I think there's not a problem in reconciling things at all. And then, of course, the other thing, incidentally, it's exciting here, we also miss the place where the Bible is ahead of the science. Very quickly here, a good example of that would be in the previous talk, if any of you did hang around because you were so loving the sandwiches you wanted a second go. Steve, who gave the first talk, threw up on the screen a picture of Fred Hoyle. He's the atheist cosmologist who invented the term Big Bang. He hated the idea that the universe began with an explosion at the beginning of everything because he realized there were philosophical implications. He realized that pointed to a God. He argued the universe has always been here. And he went to great lengths as a cosmologist to try and construct models that would give us a stable universe, ends up giving up and realizing he's flogging a dead horse. And he was the one who invented the term Big Bang. Now, what's interesting, Christians and the Bible have taught for thousands of years that there was an absolute beginning. Genesis gives us an absolute beginning. It took scientists to sort of the 1950s and 1960s to come around to the idea that, okay, maybe there was an actual beginning to space-time, what we now call the standard model in physics. So I think any apparent differences, with work, we can resolve them. And I think there's some really fun places where the Bible has been ahead of the science for millennia.